Hello and welcome to our first live hub on Carers of Dundee Facebook Live today. My name is Claire and I'll be your host on this live chat. I will be chatting to Ellie about the new Wellbeing e-modules that are available to carers through the Dundee Learning Portal. If you have any questions through the live, please do so through using the comment section, or you could direct message us, or you could email us at a later time. And now I'd like to welcome Ellie to the hub today.
Hi Claire, how are you doing?
Hi Ellie, how are you?
Not bad, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today, Ellie.
Welcome.
Could you just give us a bit of an intro, please, on your role and what you do at the centre, please?
Sure. So obviously I'm Ellie. I am Learning and Development Worker at Dundee Carers Centre. So pre-pandemic, that meant a lot of events, training events for carers and the workforce that support them. Obviously, we've moved some of them online. We did offer some sessions in the autumn term. There's also a lot of work that I do in the background as well on the website, developing the learning portal, which is what we'll be talking about today.
Great. Okay, well, I know this is quite new. This is just launched this week, hasn't it, the new e-module for Wellbeing? So we do have some questions, if that's okay, Ellie, that I'll put to you.
Sure.
First of all, Ellie, can you tell me who are the modules for?
Sure. So it's for any carers in Dundee who are looking to get support with their wellbeing. The modules are for young carers, although they do, we would recommend probably high school and above rather than primary. Parents might want to look through them for younger children, but yeah, some of the language is a bit more detailed than primary school age. And the other thing is that obviously there's a lot of content in there on resources for carers. So if you're a workforce member who's looking to support carers, you might well also find useful information in there.
Okay, that's good. So quite a full range of different things then, I suppose, that's available. And what are the modules about?
Okay, so there's three modules, and they're all based around what we're calling the carer wellbeing journey. So obviously you've probably seen a lot of stuff about wellbeing online, but this one is specific for carers and specific for people in Dundee as well. So obviously some of the advice and guidance that you get around maintaining your own wellbeing sometimes is quite difficult for carers to access or maintain. So that's broadly what they cover. So the first module is called Steps to Wellbeing. And that does cover mostly the kinds of things that you would expect in terms of advice around well-being. So it's broken down into sections around the food that you eat, getting movement into your day, sleep and rest, and also connecting with others is a really important one that we want to emphasize. And then the next two go a bit more into the carer experience. They talk much more about the things that might get in the way, as I've just mentioned, for carers. So the second one is around the challenges that carers might face in maintaining their well-being. That's called Bumps in the Road. And that goes through things like issues with the carer's own health, so mental health as well as physical health, and how you can make sure and prioritize that for yourself, and also, what to do when those things are suffering, either because of your caring role or anything else in life. Let's face it, lots of different things get thrown at us, which we've all experienced in the last year. And then we've got the final one is around the changes and transitions that carers go through and how to stay well through those and think about your own well-being when big changes are happening in your life. So that could be to do with caring. We've got little sections on beginning to care, when the caring role ends, but it's also could be anything else in your life. And it's really about sort of strategies to cope with that, resources that might help. And then we also go into more positive transitions, so support for your well-being, acknowledging that even things that you decide to do for yourself that will be exciting and fun maybe, or advance your career, that kind of thing. Are stressful too, and let's not forget that just because something's positive doesn't mean that it's not putting extra pressure on things like family relationships or the caring role or anything like that. So those are the topics. Throughout the modules, there's quotes and examples from real carers in Dundee, obviously anonymised for privacy reasons, but so we're really drawing on the experiences of real carers' experiences. There's lots of resources that are available either in the form of further links to read up about the topics, but primarily through resources and organisations around the city that you can go to for more support. And then throughout the modules, there is reflection activities that you can do in your own time to work through which of the recommended ideas you want to take forward, and that all builds up into a plan that you can make either at the end of a single module, or there's also a big one that brings it all together at the end.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And just I suppose it's people start off with like you say, things that they might think is not that big a deal, like the lack of sleep and all that wee things like that, but they can lead on to so much other things. So it's good seeing the steps that they can make, and then obviously at the end all the resources that are available. So that sounds great. Can I ask, you've touched on this a wee bit already, but why were these types of modules made, and was there anybody else involved in the making of them all?
Sure. Yeah. So actually, believe it or not, the idea of this putting things online like this was thought about for a long time. Before pandemic and things. The idea was that we were offering these. We were offering these in-person sessions, but obviously, if you're a carer who, say, can't leave the person that they care for, or are just really busy or not available when they're on, then you're not able to access those. So this was just another idea to make training and resources available to other carers that might not be able to come into the centre. The topic of well-being is something that if you've seen our previous programs, it is something that we do workshops on anxiety, we do workshops covering that sort of realm of things. It's something that carers, it's one of the main things that carers are requesting and need, and it's also a big priority for our strategic plans in terms of maintaining well-being for carers across the city. So so it was about making things available to a wider audience, and focusing on this topic, just because it really is a massive priority for the lives of carers. In terms of who's involved, so obviously it's led by people at staff at the centre, but throughout the process we've consulted with carers to make sure, first of all, what topics are useful, but also, as I said before, getting those stories of carers' experiences and really, grounding whatever we do in them and letting them sort of guide what we do. And the other thing is that we've also worked with a few organisations, obviously, to build these resources, and we've had several, staff from other organisations across the Carers of Dundee partnership to make sure that we're not just limited to our own experience. Yeah.
Good. That sounds good. Great. And I suppose the thing with everybody these days, as we're moving on to more online stuff, e-learning and such, is the worry about what devices people could use to access these different things. So do they work on lots of different devices?
They do. So they're really flexible. You can do them on your phone, your tablet, or on your PC. Yeah, and they're very, very easy to use as well.
Okay, and do they take long, or do they take the lengthy?
So it's really up to you how much time you spend on them. Just reading through each module will probably take, maybe 15 minutes per module. But obviously, we really recommend spending more time in it, clicking on the links if you want to find out more about something, taking a good amount of time on the reflection activities to make sure it's relevant to you and that you remember and can build a plan. So if you do all of that, it could be 1 or 2 hours, but it's really up to you, and we're keen to get feedback on how people are using them.
And you mentioned there's 3 different modules. Do you need to do the 3 of them?
No. So
No.
so we're really keen for people to just use them for what they need. There's no expectation that you would do them all, and you could do them in a different order. You could just pick one. At the end of the day, if you go through the whole program, they are designed to tie together. And if you would like to go through them all, then that obviously will be the way that you get the most out of the modules.
Yeah.
But you can even there's no restrictions on clicking through each section, so you can even browse through and just find the information that you need. I know that some people are a bit wary of e-learning modules and that thing of just boringly clicking through and having to click to the end and that kind of thing. That's not what this is about. This is about making sure that people have access to the information that they want, and if they are keen to engage more deeply, then that's there too.
And I suppose people can maybe work their way through certain parts of the module, but then find themselves having to stop at that time. It's okay to then go back and then refresh yourself where you left off, type of thing.
Absolutely. Now, we decided to not go down the login route to make sure that people had free access to them. And the flip side of that is that the course won't save where you got to, but coming back into it is very easy. And as long as it's like picking a book up, looking through the pages and finding where you were. It's not too difficult, but that is something to remember, that it won't save where you left off.
That's fine. Okay. And I suppose that this is an e-learning module. So do people get a bit of recognition at the end of this? Is there a certificate or that is sent out to say that you've completed these modules?
So it's not built into the program, but that is something that we're going to offer. So one of the ways that you can do that actually is to engage with the accreditation process that the Carers Centre offers. And the reflection materials, if you work through the reflection materials and get stuff written down, that will be very similar to the process that you do to get accreditation, either on there's accreditation for young people, and also the Adult Achievement Awards as well. So they are recognised national qualifications, and you go through a process of reflecting on any learning that you've done, and you could use the modules to get one of those nationally recognised qualifications. And that is really useful if, for example, you're looking to get back into education or work because you've got a real accredited proof that you've done this learning and that you're able to reflect on that. If you're just wanting a sort of acknowledgement that you've undertaken the course, we can also create you a certificate, but obviously that's just a certificate of completion, just acknowledging that that's what you've done, and that will be less useful in terms of a formal recognition. When you finish each module, all that process will be explained, and there's contact details to get in touch if you are interested in going down either of those routes.
Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know people can then use this for anything else they've got going on in their lives as well. So that's good to hear. Now, I suppose with any online e-learning, and some people are not 100% sure what they're doing sometimes. If they do get stuck or if they're not sure of something, can they get in touch? Is there help available for them?
Absolutely, yeah. So if you have a support worker already through the Carers Centre, probably the best place to go would be to contact them in the first instance. But if not, I'm more than happy to field any questions, and also hear about experiences of people using them. So the way to do that would just be to contact the centre, either email or phone, and ask for me, or if I'm not available, anybody involved in the e-learning modules. Yeah.
Basically, if you do try, if you get stuck, just get in touch. Just give us a phone or get an email, and we'll be there to help as much as we can.
That's
Good.
right. Really keen to hear from people.
Good, yeah, definitely. And is there any more modules coming up? Any more modules to keep an eye out for in the future?
We are planning to create more. The one that we will start work on now is one around accessing services and navigating different services across the city. Another issue that we have had a lot of requests around, in terms of, when you become a carer, or even any time through the process, it's often difficult to understand what's out there, and once you know what's out there, how to access them, and what the experience would be for accessing a service, either for the person that you care for or for yourself. So the plan is to work with lots of organisations across the city and develop a load of resources around that, and gather them together in an e-learning module. This is another one that we've been planning for a while, but the actual work to put them together hasn't started, so it will be a little while until it's actually available. But we're really keen to hear from carers or workforce partners who want to get involved. So that could be as little as, oh, I want to know about this service. Can you add something about that in? Or if there are carers who've experienced accessing different services who are willing to share their experiences, that would also be incredibly helpful.
Good.
Or other organisations as well, if they want to get involved. And the way to do that would be just to again contact the Carer Centre and ask for me. That would be fantastic. Likewise, any other recommendations that you might have, if you go through the modules and think, oh, I'd really like a module on XYZ, we'd love to hear from you.
Good, that's great. And all these contact details will be available within our Carers of Dundee website or in the comments section in this live feed. So I think we've covered all the basics, Ellie. I think the only thing we need to figure out here is, how do we get them? Where do we go? How do we find them? And what do we do? So I think you're going to give us a bit of an overview of how easy it is to access these e-modules online. Is that okay?
Yes, so the main Carers of Dundee website, which you can just search for online. So this is the main page, and then the learning tab is where we go for the learning portal. So just scroll down. This is the e-learning modules that we have created. You can see there's another couple as well. So we've got a young carers in schools one for school staff and other workforce members. And then we've got a general one about support for carers across the city as well, if you're interested in any of them. But the one we're looking at here is the carer wellbeing journey. So here's the main page, bit of a description about what they're about, and then you'll see each of the modules. The other thing to mention, actually, is at the bottom of this page, there are click links to every resource that's mentioned in the module. So if you've gone through the module and then 2 months down the line, you think, oh, I remember that, that article about changes, you can quickly access them without scrolling through. So here's steps to wellbeing. So there's a quick introduction, and then if you just click take the course, you're in the course. There's a bit of an introduction here about what it is. And then you just click start course and it will take you through, and all it is there is just scrolling down. So you go through the introduction, find out what you're going to learn, etc., etc. And then when you go to the end of each section, just press continue. There you go. That's it. It's as easy as that. If you do have any problems, as we've said, get in touch. I hope that you get lots out of it, and do get in touch if you have any feedback or need a hand with anything.
Okay, that's great, Ellie. I think we could see from there it's very simple to access, and like you said, through any device, phones, tablets, PCs. It's a few clicks and then you're at the module. So it is quite straightforward. I hope people take up this opportunity to do this online learning, and I think it's something you could do day or night, because people's lives are so different just now. Things are busier, things are more hectic. So it could be just taking 10 minutes out at night time, 15 minutes out at night time or morning, whenever suits, suppose. It doesn't need to be any certain times of day and night, does it?
Absolutely, yeah. We really had those people in mind when we were getting this up. Of if 2 a.m. is the time that you've got, then that's when you can access it.
Well, thank you very much. That's been very informative. Thanks for all that information. And like we said, you can find all this information on Carers of Dundee website. Links will be within this comment section on today's virtual hub. And if there's anything you want, please just get in touch with the Dundee Carers Centre or get in touch with Ellie direct, and we'll be happy to help. So thanks very much, Ellie. Thanks for joining us today on our first hub.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Well, I think we'll all agree that was a great information for everybody. So please do take the opportunity to get involved in any e-learning modules that are available to you. Like I said before, all information is available on our website, caresofdundee.org. You'll find all the links you need, but please get in touch if you're not sure. Like I did say, this is our first virtual hub on Carers of Dundee, and if you of an organisation or a local community group are keen to be involved in any future hubs, you can be, and we can help you do that. Carers of Dundee website has got full information regarding how you can get involved in any future hubs. So please do. I encourage anybody to get involved, because it's good to get the voice out there. So thank you for joining us today. Our next hub will be in February. We're running these virtual hubs every month, and the next hub in February will be based on the Dundee Carers Charter. So thanks again. Thanks for joining us, and take care. Goodbye.